Welcome back everyone. Today we're in the Giants Editor, the 10.0.8 version for Farming Simulator 25. I'm Jewel, and as you can see we're on the Jules Peaceful Valley map, and we're going to work on this building. I went ahead and molded the ground. It's pretty flat, so it's not a lot to do. It's kind of on the edge of a hill because you have this sign that you got to put out that comes with that group that we bring in. So if you're new to the game, and this is for beginners, you need to get this building into your map, and depending on how you set yours up, if you had a blank mod map or if you had left them in there from the original, then you would already have it in there, so you just put it here and then you just make sure you go do the XML work. So in this case, this is the oil place, the oil plant US place, and you see it's got the pre-placed oil plant US thing. If you hit user attributes over here in the attributes box, it has its own unique ID that goes to the one that they have in Riverbend, and then of course this XML file name tells you where to go find that at. Okay, that XML, and it would be near, most of the time it's near the i3D as well, in the same area. So that's how you can find it. You can see what it comes with. It's got a light pole here. It's got that little sign. It's got all the little deal. It's got this little spot. Let me look at it real quick and see what we got here. Alright, so that's where we put it. We put it off over here, far out into the backside. I'm trying to put some out. There's one there. There's the cement place there. This is the oil place here. And then not too far, right there was the last one we just did. I'm trying to think. The cooperage, or I believe it's what it's called. And we did that on the last episode. So this one, we're going to put this here. We're going to do the XML and everything. So go ahead and bring it in. So go to your main game. I'll just show you how to get there for the beginners real quick, and then we'll go on and move along. So basically, you're going to open up your File Explorer and go to wherever you installed the game at for Farm Sim 25. So wherever you installed that on your computer at, that's where you're going to go. So in my case, it's D drive. Yours might be C drive, and I only say that for people who have never done any of this. I know most of you know, and I'm sorry for repeating it. But the people that don't know, because one time you didn't know, and okay, so I'm telling them. So C drive, program files 86. Steam, if you have that. There's other ways if you don't. You just got to look through some folders to find it. Don't mess anything up on your main C drive though. Okay, Steam apps, common, and then here's Farm Sim 19, but we're doing 25, and mine is in D drive. So yours could be here though if you had put it there. It could also be in an E drive or an F drive or whatever, but just wherever yours was installed at. Mine's in D drive. Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Farm Sim 25, Data, Maps, Maps US, and in this case you would double click this i3D, that US, Map US thing, and then click on the one that's the newest Giants Editor for the Farming Simulator 25 and click OK. Let it open. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to waste time on that. It'll pretend this is suddenly Riverbend, and you're suddenly looking at this oil plant place. After you open up map, you click the little box here, open up map locations. There won't be two buildings, there'll just be one. Click open one of them, which is only going to be one for you in Riverbend, and then you're going to open up production points, and then you're going to click on oil plant US place. Now if you're just bringing this building alone in, and you didn't already want to bring in the whole group, so if you want all the buildings that's from Taylor US up to this spot, then you click on production points area, and then you'll do it the steps I'm fixing to tell you. If you just want this building, then you'll go ahead and click on oil plant US place, or whichever building you're wanting, click on that building. Okay, so but make sure you get the whole transform group like that. You don't want to just get, well, in some cases you can. You technically could just get this one. But if you want it to have the little spot and everything, then you would get that. And sometimes you need the whole transform group. So I would just, usually you get it, okay? So now once you highlight it, so pretend you're getting, I would suggest if you're a beginner, just go ahead and get the whole thing, and you'll have all of them in there, and you can start putting them down where you want them, and then do all the XML, but that's up to you. So whatever you decide, either if it's this one or the oil one, you're going to do the same process. So whichever one you pick, hit File, Export Selection with Files, go to Documents, in my case, wherever your map is in your case, wherever you're going to be working on a map from. The mod map that you created when you first started with your Giants editor. If you don't know how, watch my very beginning tutorials of FS25 and you'll see how. You got to watch the one that shows you how to get to the Giants editor, and it's in that video, me downloading a mod map showing you what to do with it. Okay? Now, go under wherever your map is. Mine's in My Games, FS25, Mods, my map name, and then Maps, Maps US, and then in here you would make a new folder. So you click New Folder. I'm not going to do it, but just click that, and when it pops up, type out the name that you want it to be. In this case, it would be Production Points Area. Okay, and if you had wanted, I'll cancel that for a second. If you had wanted, since that's highlighted, click on Transform. See it up here? You can highlight over, make sure you highlight the whole thing, right click and hit Copy, so that when you come over here, File, Export Selection with Files, and you go to your map, wherever that is, you would have that copied so you can paste it in the new folder. So you would come in here, and then you would get all the way to the Maps US one, or Maps if you didn't have a Maps US one, depending on your map. And you would click New Folder and then right click and paste that name in the new folder. Then you would have something that looks like this, Production Points Area. Open that folder. Okay, so as soon as you make the new folder and name it, open it. It'll be blank, but mine's already in here, so I'm not doing it again. So then you would come to this box down here, yours would be blank, and then you would right click and click Paste, and it would put this in there, and then you hit Save. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. Then you would hit Save, Yes, and Yes to both questions, yes and yes. Okay, now now once you're ready to come back and import it, this one you would be the one you'd be clicking on, but we'll close it a minute for now. So after you hit yes and yes, it brings it in the map. So now it's down at the bottom of your map, wherever. If you have a buildings folder and your Production Points Area popped in at the bottom down here, you know, when it comes in, well, actually we didn't import it yet, my bad. Hit File, Import, then go back to that, where it should bring you right back to it. So if that would have been my last thing I did, since I didn't actually do it, it would have been here, and I would have been able to click it and hit Open. So you should be able to just click the one you see, because it should be the last action you did. But if not, go back to your map, wherever it is, My Games, FS25, and I suggest you put your game, your map in the mods folder like I have it, the one that you actually play in game, so that you can test it all the time. Okay, and then go ahead and do this, and then you would come to this, and then you would click on this, and then you hit Open, and it'll bring it in. Okay, that's how you get it in. That's how you import it. Once it's in, it's going to look, say what you wrote. Then you're going to pretend this one's at the bottom. Then you're going to hit your middle scroll wheel down and hold it while it's highlighted. So click on it, then hit the middle scroll wheel. Hold it down, don't let go. Very carefully, drag it up and drop it in the buildings folder if you have one. If you say, oh, I don't have any of that, like you just have a blank whole area that you didn't put anything on it, then you need to hit Create, Transform Group, and then over here, after you create the transform group, it's going to pop up down here. And when it does, this is one, pretend it says Transform. Alright, over here in this transform name box, you're going to title it whatever you want it to be. So if you didn't have a locations folder and a buildings folder, then you're going to make each transform group for that. So this one could be locations, and write it out. And then you're going to make a new one, create transform group, and then you're going to write locations in this box, and it's going to create a locations one and a buildings one. And then you're going to take the buildings one, hit the middle scroll wheel on it, and drag it into the location one. Then you're going to take the location one, and then if you already have the map one, drag it up and let go of it. When it hits this one and highlights the map one, you let go. So that's how you get them in there. And then when you get the new one that you just brought in, you hit middle scroll wheel on it and drag it into the buildings folder. That's how you create them. Okay, and you want to leave them at 0, 0. See how it is? So once you create that, that's why you leave that one at 0, 0, and then this one will have the numbers. See over here? So that's why you do that. So productions area has the zeros. Okay, so now we're going to get started. Once you get it in the map, you click on the building. So once you brought the production points area in, if you got the whole group or just the building, click on the oil plant, the entire folder. Don't mess around and get, any pieces below it. You need to get the whole folder. Hit Control B as in boy, left mouse click, wherever you want it. And then turn the wheel right here. See how it highlights? If you need to spin it, click left click and just spin it and get it wherever you want it, or drag it over, or drag it this away, or whatever. This goes up or down. Okay? And then you do that, but you're going to have to get real close and look at the fence and all the pieces, because some things are different. You need to mold the ground, figure out where it needs to sit. Usually Control B gets it right. So if you was to make this area pretty flat for this part, maybe not over here, but right here, then it would be pretty close to setting just right, because most of this area is flat. Now over here you got to change a little, because the fence slightly goes down and up a little bit here, but most of it's flat. And then the only other spot that you're going to have a thing that's different is this sign is up higher automatically, because in the river bend it is. So I just stuck it on this little piece so that when you come down the road you see that that's coming up. And I may or may not end up putting a road here as well. I don't know yet. And then this is a little light, which is slightly in the ground, but you can lower your ground a little further if you don't want it to be that deep in the ground. I haven't done my roads and molded everything, so that all could change, so I'm not sure on that yet. And this may or may not be around the building. I hadn't decided yet. I'm just seeing. And all my painting stuff is all just rough sake for the video. When I get finished with everything and really start painting, then I can make it all nice and get in there and get very detailed. Okay? And that should do it. Once it's in, you need to hit save, wait till it saves, and then you're ready to go get your XML stuff, and you'll be almost done. You'll have to get your store item if it needs it. Always check. And as you can see, this is where our oil place is. Now let's go on, after it saves, be patient, let it do its thing. Go on over to the main game again, so back to here, and then if you didn't already go there, then just go back through to wherever your main game, you installed your main game. Mine's in Steam Apps Common, FS25, Data, Maps US, and go all the way to Config, and then go to Placeables, right click, and edit with Notepad++. If you didn't have Notepad++, you can use just regular Notepad. Okay, Notepad++ would be good for you to get if you don't have it, because of how it does the colors. Okay, now the other one does some colors, but that one does, I think, a little bit more. I don't know why, but I'm trying some reason. I have no idea why. I'm trying to spin it with my right mouse button as if I'm in the Giants editor. That's why I kept clicking there. Okay, so now we need to come find the oil plant in here. And if you happen to pop up right where it is, just click, you know where it is. If you don't know and you can't find it, say you're rolling around up and down the list and you're like, no, I don't see it, don't panic. Hit Control F as in Frank. Make sure that this box is highlighted so that when you type, it writes out the oil. So type oil, and you should be able to go on and find it with no problem. And then once you do, it's there. You can click X to get that off your screen. And what's in here, you see this is the one you need. So now that's the one we're going to grab. We're going to left click here, hold it down, drag over to there, get all this information because you want the icon which is the picture when you go in game that shows the little building, or the picture of the building. And then this is going to call your i3D and all your stuff to the placement of wherever your building is. And so we're going to right click and hit copy. Now left click just to get it off of there, so that don't accidentally delete anything in your main game XML work, because that is your main game. So then you would have to reinstall all that, and you don't want to mess with that. So never delete any of that. Usually when you're finished, you should close this, but since I'm working in it all the time, I leave it open. But if you're finished, as soon as you finish grabbing that, normally go ahead and close it, unless you're going to be doing it for a couple of hours and you're going to be back and forth in it, okay? Because you can see me, I'm terrible about closing things. I think, yeah. So don't do that. Close whatever you know you finished and don't need, and make sure you'd already, if it's in a project you're working on and you put something in there, save it. But in this one, don't change anything, because you don't need to be saving anything in here. All right. So now you're going to go back to your map, wherever your map is. This is where mine is, as you can see. So just go back to wherever your map is and go through the files. In this case, my map name, maps US config, and then into placeables, click it, right click, edit with Notepad++, and then right down at the bottom, or wherever you want it in the list. So say if I wanted it up here, I would click there. If I wanted it behind this section, I would click there, and so on. Don't break it up between the two, like here. You wouldn't want to put it here, because then this would break all that up and it wouldn't be right. You got to keep it in the pairs, like this, or the beginning and the ending, or the ending or the closing, or however you want to say it. So that's what you want. See? So you would click behind the second purple one. Okay? So click down here, hit enter, and make sure it's at the beginning, the cursor, right click and click paste. Now that that's in here, it's all lined up nicely, you can hit save. And now we need to go get and check the store item. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the in-game map, and if you open two of these file folders, right click on the file explorer and then left click on file explorer, you can open two file explorers, and then when you do, you can come back and forth to the main game, and then you can go back to your map without having to open it and go back through the files each and every time. See, this is the main game, this is mine. So we're going to go to the store items in that path. So this is the main game, wherever you installed it, data maps US config, then store items. Right click and edit with Notepad++. Come look for the oil plant. Here it is. If you have a blank store items area, or if you're putting store items in the mod desk area, you're going to left click here and drag it over, right click and click copy. Go put it in your store items folder, or in your mod desk area. Now in this case, I told y'all I'm leaving the store items the way it is in the main game until I'm done, and then I'll delete anything I don't add, which I'll probably add most of it. And you know, as you can see, it already has the train stuff, and I've already showed the train video, so it already had all this in here. Now I didn't edit any of that to make anything custom, at least not on this one, so I can leave that there, and so that made that work. And then the only things I changed are the train right here, the selling station train, and there was one more somewhere down here, the vehicle one, I think it was. Yeah, this one. So those are the only ones that I changed to my path, and I'll show you that in a second. But if you leave these, if they're other than those three that I just named, this one, the train one, the selling station train one, and the selling station vehicle one, those are the only ones that I had to change, that I wanted changed. So far anyway. Now, those are the ones you'll have to change the path, where it'll say maps, or wherever your path is to that folder. And you'll have to put that XML in your map. Okay? So that's we'll get more on that later, but basically, leave it here, and if you did leave it here, like I said, I left mine here, then you don't even got to add the oil plant because it's already there. But if you had to add it into a blank area, just right click, click here, hit enter, right click, and paste the one line that you brought over like that. Okay, and then in this case, since I didn't do it, I can just back up one and hit save. But always save after if you actually do anything in here. But since we left it in here, it's here and we don't have to do it. If you had to do it, you just paste it in and hit save. So now we already saved the area. We already got the store item and the placeables item. Sometimes you need a trigger, like at the gas station. But in this case, I don't believe there is one. It's all with the building. So we're going to go on in game and show you, and then you'll be able to see what it looks like and how it did. Okay. If there's ever any issue, then you'll know. Oh well, it might have a trigger. Then you'll go back to your placeables XML and look for it. Okay. So go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate everybody. Hope you're enjoying. Channel's growing quickly, and I do thank you. Check out the playlist. There's a lot of videos that you ask questions about, and they're there. So just dig them out. They're in my playlist. Now there's some that I got to do in the future, but some of it we hadn't come to, and I'm trying to go step by step with this. Obviously, it's not exactly step by step because you can do some of this out of order, but I'm trying to keep a pattern of kind of where in line you would be doing something, generally speaking. And I always do my XML first, so that's just me. Some people paint the map first. You know, I don't want to spend time painting a map. I want to get it working and then paint the map. So let's get on in there. Right here, continue, no tour, go to the map, and continue. Alrighty. Alrighty then, let's get on in the game. And confirm. There we go. Hit escape, back out. As you can see, we got them all over the place. That's how much we've done. If you need to figure out how to do any of these, go look at my tutorials, because that's what each one of these will be on there. So let's go see where it should be here. There we go, oil mill. And that's what the picture is. That's that little area where it said map icon in the placeables XML that we added. And you can visit, manage, buy, or tag. If you tag it, you can see it blinks. And if we was to go there, we'd see that little red thing that tells you how far it is away from wherever you're standing. And then you can untag so you can see that it's working. You could hit buy, which I got to borrow the money to buy it, so we'll wait. Then you can manage it from here. It pops you in this list, and this is all the things we've added so far. I have added that, but I got to redo the thing because I changed it later. So I'm going to be doing a video about the sawmill again. Even though I have one where we used a placeable toolkit to do it, I'm going to be redoing it because I had to do some things later. So I moved it since then. So that's why that one's white looking. Alright, but here it is, and then you can do all you got to do. You can visit from here. It tells you what it does and everything. But for now, we're just going to jump back to here. And you can see there goes the train coming along. He's going to go this little train route. But let's go ahead and hit visit to get there. And then we're here, and you can see it looks right. It's at the right height and everything, the stairs and everything. You got the wrench. You can see that works. You can hit R, and if we had the money, we could buy it. So we're going to go ahead and borrow the money, but first we're just going to walk around. You can see the other building. See how it's at the level that it is. That's sitting on the ground. So make sure all that kind of looks right, that it's not floating. See, I made sure that it pretty well landed where it should. And you can see nothing's really out of place. You can see this obviously will be where we put a road in, or it just depends on how I end up doing it. Like I say, that's got to be molded more. And then these little splotches, or whatever you want to call it, is the decals. So you'll get those as well. Now you could make them invisible if you don't want them. I don't really like to delete a lot of the stuff unless I'm doing a whole separate custom thing. So I wouldn't necessarily delete stuff, because sometimes you mess things up when you do. So I wouldn't necessarily suggest that unless you're doing a custom thing separate and you know, you go through that whole process. But you can see that's why those are there, because of the decals. And you can see this pole and this and all the way that the fence, see how the fence kind of goes up a little there. So most of it's flat though. So you can see you dump your stuff in here, your pallets, your pallets and your wrench is over here. And I don't think there's anything around back other than just decoration stuff. You got these parking things. You can't even get out the back gate. So I guess we'll get rid of the road behind it, I guess. This one I don't think opens or anything. It'd be nice if they'd have made it do an actual open, like a gate. So that don't even open, and then you got these. So that's what it looks like. That's all the stuff you can see. Make sure everything hits on the ground right. You can try clicking on things, but obviously none of this building is to open or anything. Some buildings are, so you can check them. When it says no entry, you know that's probably not going to let you go in. So this building isn't one that lets you go in. So let's borrow the money, and then we'll go have to drive a trailer here to dump that in there. So let's go ahead and borrow the money. Hit escape. We'll go to this place here and go to finances and just go ahead and get the money that way. I think we'll just get like 400,000. We got to get enough to get a tractor and a trailer. Make sure we can lease that though. So let's do that and hop back out. And then we're going to go to the map area to go to the store, because we're going to have to get a vehicle. And this is on that icon, and if you want to know how to do that, I have a video on it. So check out my vehicle shop and the selling station area thing, and you can get this put in your map properly. I show you about the hotspot and all that in the video to help you understand. Go ahead and click on this, get one of these tractors, custom and lease, and yes, should be good enough. I'm gonna get a small trailer. I don't want nothing big, just enough to show you, and that is fine. There we go. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and go to the place. Let's load this up. Let's put some stuff in it. You can put canola, olives, rice, either kind of long rice or long grain rice or regular rice, and sunflowers in this particular factory, and that's what the recipe is to make this stuff. So now we're gonna load up and go. We gotta drive over there. I added a bridge, so we're just gonna go across. Added a couple of extra bridges in the map, just temporary bridges. They're not meant to be there. This one will, but not the other ones I added. But we can go ahead and hit F12, hit OK, and put canola in there because we have this. So let's do that. Hit number 3 to make it drive on the keyboard by itself. See, it puts that little green 32 down there at the bottom right. That's the number 3. If you hit it again, it turns it off. You hit it again, it goes green. It means it's basically going to drive it for me, so I don't have to keep doing it. I can just steer with A and D on the keyboard. But anyway, the water is another layer of water there. That's why that's doing that. I got to work on that later. But I'm not doing the water right now. I'll be doing it in Blender when I get ready to. That's just temporary, so we can at least have a water look to the map instead of just white. It's probably best to leave it white, because then you can just drive through the water and you don't get kicked out while you're working on a map. I had left it that way for a while. If y'all noticed, most of my videos was with it white, but then I just wanted to see it with the blue for a little bit, because it's prettier. But there's another water layer there that's not supposed to be there, that I was working on something else. But here's a temporary bridge right there, and it's going into a place that's going to be the future fish hatchery. So this is just temporary, just something to get over here to that building. But as you can see, there's a bridge here. But it ain't a half bad bridge spot. I mean, we could work something out. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really want it coming into the back side of this like that. But this is where the potential hatchery is going to be. We'll have to make it go out a little further. But I hadn't fully decided yet, but we got to mold it and everything. But you can see that seemed to be the most logical place, the way that it's around that water, because it needs the water to work, like to have the right look, because it's a fish hatchery. So hopefully we can get it all nice looking. Alright, so which way do I need to be going here? We should be getting closer. I think I need to turn a little bit. We could look at the map and see where I'm going. Yep, we're going pretty close. Got to turn just a little bit. As you can see, I'm just cutting through. I'm not taking the roads. There it is. See it in the distance. This would be fields and all kind of stuff. Trees right here in this brown area. All those cement looking areas, or asphalt, or whatever it is, that's going to be fields. Some of it's going to be other stuff. Just depends. Some things will change, but generally speaking, it'll be. I'm thinking about changing that one big field that I did right there. We'll probably do something a little different there. But there's the oil place. We're going to go on and get over there. You can see that was a road. So once we actually mold it and situate it and make a road, there'll be some sort of road here. And then it'll be a turn. We'll probably put a turn right there. And then come up here. Here's our oil factory. Right out by the ocean, or whatever you want to say. And we'll turn in. And there it is. And we need to buy, I think we did we buy it? Yeah, we already bought it. I think we already bought it. No, we got to borrow the money to buy it. Here, let me borrow the money. Technically, I already bought it in the previous video, or the beginning of the video, or got the money, borrowed the money, but I had to add those bridges in, so I had to edit that part where I got the tractor because of it. So we're going to get the money again, even though y'all saw it. Let's do that, because we got to buy this place, because I had to reload the game, because I didn't have, the bridges wouldn't let me get across the water. So basically, that's what happened. So, hit R, buy the building. Now we own it. And it's not activated yet, so what you can do if you want to do that is hit escape. You can come to here, or you could have did it at the wrench. Come in here, pick which one you want, and you can activate it. You can see it takes canola, long grain rice, olives, rice, and sunflowers. And it makes canola oil, olive oil, rice oil, and sunflower oil. You can click activate, and then activate the other ones, whatever you want to make. So whatever you decide to do. If you put it on storing, it'll spawn the pallets. If you put it on distributing, it will not. It will store them. And if you put it on selling, by clicking change the output, it'll sell it. Put on distributing, it'll store it, and it won't spawn the pallet. Put it on storing, and it'll spawn the pallet, so that you can pick it up and do it, what you got to do with it. So let's come over here and unload. Now it says missing materials. That's because we got to add them. So we're going to drive up and add one of them, canola. So let's get on down. We're kind of high up. Let's get down there and hit. You can see that the icon works. So the XML worked, because now that icon says dump it with the I. So now we dump it, and you can see that works. So you can see that everything I showed you to do in Giants Editor and the XML worked. Okay, so that dumps in. You can see that it's not selling it, it's loading it. Now if you hadn't bought the place and you dumped that, it would have sold it. At least we should have done that first to show you. But now we can spawn. You can see that icon goes away when it's empty, because there's nothing in it to do it. Now we're going to load it again with well, you can do sunflowers. So let's do that and hit I, load that, so that it can be working on that. You can see how it looks with the sunflowers right there. Pretty big little spot, nice big parking lot. And then we can load it with olives. Let's see, or rice, or we can just do the rice. Hit that and do that. Load that right in, as you can see. There we go. And we can load in the other one. We'll do the long. Make sure we get some of that in there. Long grain rice. And then load it in. Hit I. You can see it works. Got a nice view of the ocean out there. Of course, we'll have some trees in some places, so I don't know, depending on how much of a view I actually make it. There we go. And then we got to do the olives. So we'll do that. So let's find them. Shouldn't be too far, but they're a little further down the list. Somewhere. Oh, there it is. Hit OK and I. And there we go. So once that's done, we'll be able to look at the other part and speed up time so that the pallet can spawn. And then you'll know that it works. And you can do yours and check yours. Always go out of the game and check your log in your farm sim where your mods folder is, where you put your map. Go under farm sim 25 and go down till you see log, LOG, and then open it with Notepad++ and you can see if you have any errors. So we're gonna hop out. You can see it says it's running. That means it's doing all it's got to do. You can see it says sunflower oil 7, and then it says canola oil 9, olive oil 1, rice oil 10. So I'm gonna hit escape. You can see in here that it's doing it right here with these little red lines, and it's producing it right here. So all of them I activated. So then I'm gonna speed up time so we can see what it's doing. And then it'll hopefully go quick, and then we'll end the video. So let's get out of here and let it do its thing. It's going to spawn, should spawn over here, and we'll be all set. It's not a very big spawn area. I don't know why I would think they would make them much bigger. But now it's kicking and getting it. When it hits 1,000, I believe it'll pop one out. The bottom one's pretty quick. I'm not sure how much it takes on that one. I think that it's 1,000 per each, but we'll see. Sometimes it's different, so. Not too bad. We got both icons. You can see it works. Looks good. The lights would come on if it turns dark on us. Alright, the rice oil is going to be probably the first one to pop up, ain't it? That's good. Look, we got the sun. That's pretty. Looking good. Alright. We're getting closer. We're at 630 something. We should see it pop up if it hits 1,000, most likely. But that's how you get it working. You can test it. That's how you test it. And just keep going down your list and doing them. I'm doing each one just so if somebody's searching for this specific building. I know everybody that's been doing it gets the point, but I'm doing it so that somebody searches for this oil place, they can do just the oil place, and then they can, if they're a beginner, they can understand. It just helps for searching it. Otherwise, it would just say, you know, one little thing, and it'd be for all of them, and then they might not understand that. Alright, it's fixing to do it. Yep, there it goes. So that's the rice. The rice oil, rather. So there's that. And then we'll wait and let it pop up. And you can see the lights are on. See the lights? We can look in. See? And then those lights are on. See? And this light. That's one of the ones that goes here. You see the pretty moon up there? You can see all those lights on the building. All around the side. Let's go and see what's in the back. Got a light there that's going to work. There, there, and there. So you can see all of it works. So you didn't have to do anything special to get all that to work. It just was very simple. Let's go over here because there's like a door with a way to look in and we want to peek. Oh, what do we got in there? Who's in there? It's a shame we can't open them all up. I wish they would get... some buildings they do, but wish they would do all buildings and doors. And I wish they would even let us open windows. That'd be fun. I mean, obviously we can make a mod that does it, but they don't usually do it. And look at that. They got one up here that's not even like on the ground level. I guess they figure they're gonna shove it down like below the map. A lot of times they make it like that so they can shove it below the map, and then that'd be another, you know, building look. That's interesting. Alright, so we're almost there. 900 on a couple of them. We're about to get rice oil again. It's about ready to double over. Alright, here we go. It's fixing to pop up. And just about there. We're probably not going to wait on the olive oil. When these two pop up, we'll call it. And there you go. Up. And another rice. But olive oil hadn't popped up yet. But that's good enough. Y'all get the point. You can see it. There's another olive oil. But anyway, that is the stuff. I'm trying to get off the screen a little bit so that goes away. But there it is. Our icons are there. I'm going to move over where you can kind of see them a little better. But we're going to go ahead and call that a video. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.